Is it me again? Welcome back to another episode of Cat TV. My name is Jasmine. Today we are talking about attachment wounding. And of course, I have another story to tell to share this coded transmission with you. So by this time, Tilly had passed and we had the ceremony. The closing ceremony I created for her, or should I say we co-created together. And I had decided so she transitioned on the 21st of December 2024 at summer solstice. We then had the ceremony 2 days later on the 23rd, and we buried her on the 25th on Christmas Day. And I had held the body for 4 days. And I was feeling like I can't let her go. I can't bury her. I can't finish the process. And I was reflecting on this, and I messaged a friend who was helping me through the whole process. And I said, is this me again? I can't let her go. I can't bring myself to do the burial or the cremation. And I decided on burial. And she was in a box. She was sitting on ice. I'd fully covered her with flowers. I had bought 6 roses, yellow and orange roses, because she was a ginger kitty cat. And I'd had crystals in there, and she was sitting in my room. And I remember feeling like, even though her physical body is not alive, the fact that she is still present in my room, I feel like she's still here. And for me to release that, I feel like that's the final piece. I'm never going to see her again, right? Because even though her body, her physical vessel is deceased, I can still see her. And so I was reflecting upon this, and I said, is this me again? Is this me again? And I'd had the conversation with my friend around cremation and burial, and why I was kind of feeling cremation, because at least I could bring her with me. Whereas if she was buried and I no longer chose to stay in that house, which was my family home, then I felt like I was leaving her behind. And that didn't feel right to me. And so this is another initiation. It's another exploration. It's another avenue for us to turn the mirrors inwards and look at ourselves and look at our stuff and look at, what are we making this mean? What am I making this mean? That I'm leaving her behind, that I'm disrespecting her, that I'm never going to see her again, and all of these stories. And the unhealthy attachment piece around me not wanting to let go, what is that energetically doing to her? And so this was another conversation that I had to explore within myself, that I had with this beautiful soul. And I also spoke to my best friend at the time. Well, at the time, he's still my best friend. He was also my ex-partner. And I said to him, by not letting Tilly go, she's not really free. And I'm not free either, because I am actually holding her back from letting Tilly take the next phase of her journey. So by me holding onto the body and not letting the body go, I'm not allowing myself to be free, and I'm not allowing Tilly to be free, and I'm not allowing her to fully step into the next phase of her journey. And so when I was having this conversation with my female friend, she reflected a question back to me, and I'm going to share it with you here. Quote, this was around the need to keep her and not let her go, and the need to cremate her. And she said, "What is the need in me to be able to take her with me, the soil in which her remains have returned? What am I making that mean? What is the story I'm wrapping around it, and what is the hook that is filling in, what is the hole that is filling in me that I don't have to look at, that I don't have to feel, or I don't have to stretch into or evolve?" She then said, "And if I had energetic eyes to see, what is the true impact of that choice on Tilly's soul?" And as soon as I received that piece, I, of course, wanted to hold on to her because I just love her so much. But I knew that it wasn't fair on her either. And I knew that it was time to release her back to the soil. And I knew that natural death was the most, natural burial was the natural and most respectful and beautiful way to return her to the earth. It was the returning the body back to the earth and allowing Mama Gaia to hold her and allowing Gaia to go through the natural process and do the natural process that she would do to help break down the body and send her soul on the next part of her journey. That was the most aligned choice and the best choice for us. And so this is where we get to see another part of ourselves, and we get to look at these energetic cords of attachment. Why can I not let this go? I speak about this in other videos in what do our animals represent to us around finding home in self and the vulnerability that presents when we have somebody that has represented home for us. And this is where we get to look at another layer, the initiation that just keeps on giving. Tilly was the gift that keeps on giving. Like, she gave me so much in our 15 years alive, but then even in those end stages where we were facing death, where we went through death and then through the afterlife, like, she was still initiating me. And so these energetic cords of attachment, the guilt, the grief, the sadness, the heartache, the heaviness, the yearningness that we feel, this keeps the energetic body hooked into the physical body. And I'm specifically talking about the pet here. When we are still attached and enmeshed into these vibrations, into these emotions, and we don't allow the body and the soul to take it the next part of its journey, we have energetic cords that remain still hooked into the body. So if you think of it like you see the body, and if you could see all of these invisible energetic cords, right? And when we are holding on to these attachment pieces, the energetic cords and the body still remain enmeshed together. But when we release these attachments and we allow the animal to take its next journey, and we allow ourselves to take the next journey, these energetic cords and body can release, and the body is free to continue to take its next journey. In other words, it actually holds the body back, the soul back, from fully transitioning and taking the next parts of their journey. And so when I realized that by me holding the body as much as this was about me, when I realized that this was actually holding Tilly back, and therefore Tilly is only halfway there, right? She can't actually fully cross the rainbow bridge. She's not able to fully cross onto the other side because I'm still holding her back. Now, once I release her, if she still chooses from a soul perspective to kind of stay earthside energetically, to still be there with you, your human, to help you through the next phases, then that is a sovereign choice that your pet makes. I'm talking about how we hold them back through our own attachment wounding. And so once I realized this piece, I was like, okay, I realized that there was still an unhealthy attachment piece here somewhere, and Tilly helped me to see this piece. And this is the power of animals, and it's the power of death. And it's also the power of doing this very consciously. Because when we do it consciously, we're then able to see all of the pieces. But when we do it very unconsciously, meaning, okay, cool, they're dead, they've died, I buried it, done, move on, we can miss these pieces. But when we take death into our hearts and we take it to ceremony and we sit in sacredness and we sit in reverence, we get to see all of the intricacies of these pieces, and we get to unravel on a much deeper and a much bigger level. So, attachment wounding. I'd love to hear, do you have attachments to your pets? And I'm willing to say that yes, we all have beautiful attachments to our pets. Are there any unhealthy attachment woundings that are playing out for you that maybe you're aware of, that maybe you're not aware of? Have you been through this process of death where you've really struggled to let go, where the attachment wounding has been present for you, and either you've rushed the process because you felt like you've needed to, or you've resisted the process because you're so afraid to let go? I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback and your stories and your journeys of this, and also understanding that the invitation and the initiation is for us to simply look at these pieces and recognize, yeah, I've got some unhealthy attachment pieces running out here, and reflecting on that question, what is it within me that is unable to let go? Why am I resisting letting go of this body, of this beautiful soul? Why do I feel like I can't let go? What is the impact of that energetically having on me and also my beloved pet? And what is the need? What is the void in me that is wanting to take her ashes with me, that is wanting to travel around multiple houses or internationally with my beloved pet? And a disclaimer on here, that's not to say that cremation is wrong. If cremation is the most aligned choice for you, then, that is the most aligned choice for you. It's just about asking the question and exploring these layers and giving ourselves permission to see these pieces. Because life is an initiation, and at every moment we get to choose love over fear. What would fear do? Fear would keep the body because I'm so afraid of letting go and never seeing this beautiful soul again. Love would go, I remember that I am immortal, that she is immortal, that death is an illusion. Death doesn't actually exist. We're literally just transitioning and time traveling between different dimensions. And I remember that love is the only truth, so therefore how could I ever be separated? The physical body may not be here, but I can access this person through spirit, through the quantum field, through love. And she will always exist through love. And at every moment we get to choose expansion or contraction. If I'm holding on to that body, what does that do to Tilly? Does that expand her into the next part of her journey, or does it keep her contracted into the third dimension? If I let her go, does that create expansion and allow her to grow and to go back into infinity and become the fullest, biggest, grandest, bravest, most sparkliest, beautifulest version of herself through spirit, and enabled her to stay with me if she so chooses, or to transition into another beautiful body, or transition into a butterfly, or just continue her journey. And then when she chooses to come back, she is coming back free, without the embellishment, without the enmeshment, without the attachments of these 3D cords. This is the invitation for us here, and this is the invitation that I have for you through this story. And I am so grateful that you have been here and joined me for this episode. Thank you so much. Today we talked about the attachment wounding pieces and the attachment wounding through death and pet loss grief. Whew. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so grateful, and I would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video, tag anyone you need to that you think may also may find value from this video. And I look forward to sharing my next video with me. For now, bye.